Yeah, look, okay.
What are you
let's go.
talking about?
We gotta
They're on
start
the
linking
couch.
more stuff, because guess what?
How
son?
does that make sense?
Guess
You
what
link.
happens
Oh, two
here?
things. You link two things.
Let me keep going for you, because guess
Hey,
what?
and you also think
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin's a good idea. So while we're at it,
I mean, people made millions.
it makes sense, right?
Okay, bro, look, let's look up another one. Oh shit, dude, another article. Dude, crazy how the world works with facts. In science, it's crazy, bro. Science.
Do you know how many alcoholics there are, Jason?
Dude, that's right. Dude, there are alcoholics.
Right.
Do you know? I want to ask you. Do you know
Jeremy's
how
got
many?
me sold right there.
How many
Do
of
you know
those
how many
alcoholics
alcoholics there are? No, do you want a number? I can give you a number if you want an actual number. Let's look it up.
How many treatment programs in America actually help alcoholics? As far as
That shit's
rehab.
super strong.
Tell me how many rehab programs in America go through the proper channels of rehabilitation. Give me that. Don't bullshit me with this shit, dude. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm asking you, do you know how many alcoholics there are?
There we go. That's the bullshit I'm talking about, dude.
What? You're blaming rehab centers now?
Yeah.
Hold on, you're blaming privately owned rehab centers? They're not given out by the government. It's fucking owned by somebody.
Correct. They're not. Now, if it was owned, legalized, and distributed by the government for actual healthcare systems, guess what would happen?
It's not the
People would
government's
actually
job.
get results.
It's not the
What are you talking
government's
about, though?
job
That's
to
what we're doing
regulate
right now.
fucking alcoholics, dude.
What?
What are you talking about?
Oh my god. See, you have no sense of.
We
like,
hardly
You have
pay
no
for our
basis,
teachers.
Jeremy. Where are
We
your
hardly
facts?
pay for our teachers, and you
Yeah.
think that the military and the government should pay for rehab?
Yep.
We hardly pay
Yep,
for
Because if
therapy.
you were to legalize the drugs, guess where the money would come from?
Dude.
The selling of drugs. Crazy how that works, right? Crazy how you
Dude.
can pay for it like that. Oh, and
You
know,
you
look,
think
really
you
think
think?
alcohol
Hold on,
should
hold
be
on,
I think that's
hold
the way it
on.
should
I'm
be.
just asking. Increasing the drug usage and increasing healthcare is going to work.
It has worked. It has.
So if there's a fire, you pour more gas on because you think that that's gonna put it out.
You kill a
Putting water on it because sometimes you don't need fire to put another fire out.
Actually, how you burn out a fire because there's no oxygen in the air.
No.
That's a bad analogy.
If you want to know what I think, and I'm not gonna be able to link you anything because my opinion
know, 'cause
doesn't
it's-
stay on the internet.
Look,
Because
just
I
like-
don't read an article and then base my whole thesis off that
Look,
because
first
I'm
off-
an individual and I have my
That's
own
you.
opinion.
That's
So
you.
if I could
You
say
have
something
no
real
opinion.
quick, if I could just say
No
something real
base.
quick without you interrupting me,
I'm
if I could
saying.
just say one thing,
ahead.
I know what you're saying. Can I say one thing? I think if there's anything that could work to reduce addicts in general, it would be a better rehab system or an accessible place for them to get better. Because giving them
Listen to him
access
typing
to
in
it,
something in Google.
giving them access to what they're already addicted to is like, how does that make sense? If you were a heroin addict for 20 years and you did 5 years great in sobriety, but at a local store near you, you can pick up heroin now because we need to pay for better rehabilitation. Do you know how hard it is to be sober? Do you know how many alcoholics there are that relapse?
Dude, you're not even
Do you know how
talking
many
about the
addicts that relapse?
Okay, do you know how many kids
And
die
making
every
it
single-
legal, how does that make sense?
Because their parents will pay for the Percocets, but they won't give them the proper education on how to use these drugs.
Because the parents don't even know about the Percocets, dude.
Look, bro, look.
This is all new.
Hey,
Pharma fucked everybody. It's not.
It's been around for years, and that's the crazy. Funniest thing to me is that people think this drug war is new. No, this shit has been happening since the '60s.
No one said it was new, dude.
Okay,
I'm
so-
talking about pharmaceutical drug use. That
Pharmaceutical
has
drug
been
use.
pretty new. We
Uh,
haven't always had opioids and Xanax and fucking methadone floating around. This is all
since
new
the
stuff
80s,
that
bro,
doctors
since
give out.
Before that was been since.
Methadone was in the 80s. Methadone was in the 80s. Xanax was in the 80s.
No, but fucking.
All these
heroin was-
opioids were in the 80s.
Yeah,
Come
they
on,
were
dude.
brought over here. Guess from where?
You know what the hardest drug is to get off of? Honestly, it's OxyContin. They say that all addicts of OxyContin, like it said something like 70 to 80% of addicts of OxyContin relapse, no matter what.
Yeah,
Mhm,
and it's-
and
And
then
making that legal,
You
more
know
legal than it
why?
already is
You know
detrimental
why?
to the already addicts. You want people just
You
to
think
die because that's what will
detrimental?
happen.
People are dying now.
Yeah, and it's illegal.
No.
It's
People are,
illegal to abuse these drugs,
it's
and
illegal
people
to
are
abuse
dying
them,
from it.
but guess what? People aren't where it's legal to abuse these. Do you think
What?
people are dying from where it's legal? No, and that's the actual
Yeah,
proof
I
was
do.
before.
I do actually.
Oh yeah, much smaller number, and the
Yeah, because it's fucking Portugal and Sweden, dude. They don't have that many people there, and they don't have that many addicts there.
Actually evens out, and
They don't have that many addicts
Oh
there.
my god, are you kidding me?
I'm not.
You must. I really can't. Because you have no idea. You know what it is. World,
No, dude,
that
because you
area,
read
none of
2,
that
3
shit.
links and you think you know everything, bro.
Okay,
And it's
sure.
when someone challenges your thought process, it's like threatening you. Like, I'm confident in. Okay, I'm
You
confident.
know why? Because you have only
Okay.
opinions. You have no facts. You have no facts, and that's where you say I'm confident. Yeah, everyone else feels confident when they say, "Hey, I voted for Trump because of this, this, and that." Okay, where are the facts?
You're calling
These are
me.
the facts.
You're,
Yes,
you're
I am
relating
saying
me
that
to a Trump
I'm
supporter
arguing
because
your
I
argument.
think. Because
you
I
only have opinions and you're gonna
because I think that making drugs legal would be a bad idea. I'm now also on the same page as a Trump supporter.
I'm saying you have the same argument.
I'm saying you're irrational, and I'm also saying that you're compulsive, and you seriously are challenged by anybody having an opinion, and you try to personally attack people and then ask for facts.
See, you.
How does that make sense? You personally attack people, and then you ask for facts.
Oh, my opinion's my opinion. I have the right to my opinion. That's exactly what you said. And like I
Yeah.
said, you have the right to your opinion, but you don't have the right to your facts. So when you are confronted with actual facts, you yourself.
Oh, you're gonna flip the shit on me and say what I just said?
Okay, I have actual facts. Yes, well, your opinion. You're right. I'm sorry. The argument doesn't seem
Because
right.
what I'm arguing, I don't need facts. I mean, what I said is true, though. I asked you how many alcoholics there are, and alcohol is legal, and you don't want to address that.
Sure. Okay.
You don't want to
Let's look
address
up that
that.
number. Alcohol is legal. How many alcoholics are there? Let's see.
Matter of fact, how many people smoke cigarettes, and it's legal? That's something too, because people are addicted to those.
So now that we have the proper education saying that it's a lot less than it was when. And you know the crazy thing is when you have the actual information given to you,
The crazy
processed,
thing.
and you get the warning, and you get back.
I think you have no idea how many addicts there are in this country, dude. I think you have no clue, especially in Las Vegas. I have
in the United States. Let's see, 26.9% of people aged 18 or older.
26.9%. Is that what you just said?
Yep.
26.9% of the U.S. is alcoholic.
Nope. It
So
says
more than a
older
quarter.
than ages. That's all it says.
That's all it says. Well, if that's all you need, dude.
See, alcohol misuse costs the state.
What I don't
300 billion.
understand is like, okay, so you read an article and you think that because it worked in Portugal and Sweden and whatever other 8 countries, you think that that would apply and work to America.
Why it worked. See, that's the thing that you're so caught in the fact that you think that you know you're right and you have no facts.
Okay, explain to me how it works
That's the
then.
thing. It's like it's crazy. You're so close.
I'm asking you right now. Explain to me how it works. Explain to me how making all bad things legal works. Because I don't think it works. I think you know that already.
Okay, so how did Little Pump die?
Lil Pump's alive.
Oh, what's the other guy's name? Lil Peep.
He died because he abused opioids, and actually it was mixed with fentanyl. So
It was.
he didn't know that the Xanax he took was mixed with fentanyl.
And a lot of kids who die at a lot of these raves and a lot of these events don't know what they're taking either. A lot of these press pills, they don't have markings. A lot of these kids that you see overdose at these events, they have nowhere to
They don't make
test
them at a clinic. It's some guy in his
Right.
garage who
They
has a
don't-
presser
Yep.
and he makes it so.
Yep. And there is no way to legally test these devices. There's no place in these events that these kids go to where they can test these drugs, where they can make sure what they're not taking is a fucking
Maybe they
alcohol.
should be taking the drugs because I think that's what the argument is.
Okay, well, you know, people are still gonna take drugs, so how do we make it safer for people to take drugs? That was the question. How do you make it safer for people to take your drugs? You educate them, you create a system so that they can do it. You tax and regulate the system so people do not
Yeah,
have
but-
the ability to make that money off those kids, off the
But
system.
don't you think the best way for you not to get harmed from that drug is to simply not take it?
Sure.
Do you-
And there are some people who choose to have that.
How at the government's expense is it their
How
fault
is it the
how
government's
do they
expense?
need to
how,
pay
how are they getting expended?
for you wanting to take something? How does that make sense?
Because right now there are no laws. There are no laws on rehabs and rehabilitation centers to actually provide reasonable care. Yes, but there are no laws. No one cares about these people. That's the thing.
They're
Is
privately owned. It's
yeah, but in America,
governments don't own hospitals either, dude. Do you know that hospitals are privately owned?
Yeah.
They don't hand out medical things.
So is the prisons. Prisons are privately owned
No,
too.
not all of them.
Not all of them anymore, but you know.
Have been private, yes.
Hey, but you know, it's just one of those things. It's these systems that are currently in place, and yet for some reason people can't see outside the box. They can't see how other things are working in other countries.
What box?
The box of you're so constrained. You just said hospitals. You just said like I said prisons, but we're talking about all these institutions that
I'm
have
saying what are privately
bullshit
owned. They are privately.
ideologies. And are they not bullshit? Do you not have to pay out the ass for healthcare? Do you not have to pay out the ass? Your prison system is an automatic. Prison system is a slavery system, dude.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just
Okay, so I'm
saying that these
the
things
fact-
are privately owned and
Yes.
the government doesn't have their fingers in them
Doesn't
unless they
have
own
their
it.
fingers in them. And guess what? They don't. And guess what? Guess what the government is getting into? They got into privatization with alcohol. They saw how much the gangsters. So guess what they did? They made
They
alcohol
bought
legal.
it, made it legal, and now a lot of
Yep.
people drink alcohol and they make a lot of money on it.
Yep, but guess
Cigarettes
what?
as well.
But the issue is they did not follow through with the healthcare. A lot of other
Followed through. Well, if that's how business works, dude.
Wow,
If you
dude.
think that they're gonna
You're
follow
gonna run a
through, then
country
you're
like
out
a
of your
country, and
mind.
they're
If you think that they're gonna follow through,
Hey,
you're out
dude,
of
all
your
I'm
mind.
saying is that at least I have, you know, ideas.
At least you have your facts, dude. At
Yeah,
least you
the
have
facts.
those.
At least I have the
At
facts,
least
and
you
can
have your
think
facts.
like outside the constraints of like all of the nonsensical bullshit the way the world is now.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, look. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to. But the thing is,
I
you're trying
understand.
so
I
hard.
understand how an opinion works, dude.
That's fine. But like, you know,
I'm pretty dead set in mine. I'm not asking you to change your mind. I'm just trying to get at the core to where you think that this will work. That's all I'm trying to figure out,
I mean,
really, at this point.
it does work. See, that's the crazy thing is like,
How?
oh, dude, okay, look, I'm not gonna go ahead. People, okay, in other countries,
And don't do
guess what
something
they
you don't want to do.
Guess what they do in other countries, dude? They have this thing called healthcare, and it's free. Guess what they do in those countries that have, you know, where the drug's legal? They have healthcare, and guess what? It's free. It's
They
run by
also
the government.
don't. They also
It's
don't
run by
have some of the.
government, dude. It's
they
run by the
also-
government.
They also don't have some of the biggest and worldwide pharmacies on the planet like America does, where we can pretty much rule the whole pharmacy market. That's what we do. Yeah, China makes a bunch of them too, but some of the biggest pharma billionaires ever are here in America, and they dictate. Like Martin Shelley, he was just a small dude. His actual boss that he learned from owns like 80% of pharma.
Yep. And guess what? They would not
And
be
they
able to make-
also sell methadone. It's
they
their.
would not be able to do that. They would not be able to make billions of dollars off America. As hard as they do. if they
What
were
you're
legalized.
going for is like total socialism. That's basically what I'm hearing. Because you
Oh.
want like the government to run everything. Then at that point,
Healthcare, sure. Yeah, why not? Why not healthcare? I mean, every other country does healthcare. Every other country has like a mailing system. Every other country
So what
has
do-
air traffic
what
control.
do we
like,
do with
what do you mean?
privatized-
Health issue?
what do we do with privatized
healthcare?
like
You
healthcare?
don't pay as much.
then? So
I mean-
so everybody that owns stuff now, pretty much the biggest leg of America outside of corporations. What do they do now since the government runs everything?
They get paid
That's
by
the leverage that these people have, dude. I don't think you understand.
They get paid by the government now. They get government
They're
subsidiaries.
gonna
and
get
then
paid
you can
trillions
have
of dollars
private
like they do
practice.
now by the
Not
government.
trillions, probably billions, probably a lot less. And guess what? They'll be paid more consistently.
They're not.
the executives
These
wanna-
people are willing to get your son and daughter, and then their grandkids hooked on heroin. You think they're gonna take less money, dude?
Dude,
You
hey,
think, you think they're gonna put money towards rehabs when that means more money for them?
look, first
What?
off,
Why
it's
do you think
called
we sell more
regulation.
alcohol at discount prices?
Jeremy, your argument is you think that there's.
I
So
don't
that's
think.
your
I don't
argument.
think that the
That's your
people
argument,
at
dude.
power
Yeah.
are capable of helping these people out. I totally
That's
think
great.
that they can make it
And-
legal, and I totally think that they can
See-
distribute it and sell it to people. But I don't think that they're
But-
gonna follow through and help people.
But here's the thing,
Every-
man. Here's the thing. That out right there, that little consensus, like that's cool and all, but like,
It's not fair.
it's not. And beyond that, it's like, why would you want to like ever?
I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, why would you want to vote in favor of hopelessness? That just doesn't.
I don't vote in favor of hopelessness. That's not what I voted for last time I went to the booth. But I'm just saying, I understand what patterns are, or at
Okay.
least what I interpret as patterns, and I don't see a change. Drug use in this country is rampant.
Sure.
And
But it doesn't
we
say
don't.
that-
We're not even addressing it. That's the real thing.
Yeah.
All this what if talk, as we're talking now, there's so many addicts in this country. And making it legal would just kill their recovery.
Look,
How does
there
that make
is no
sense?
recovery, dude. That's
There
the
is
thing.
no recovery. So we just gotta cycle these people out, let them die. Do that.
Currently, what is happening?
I'm learning a lot tonight.
Is that not currently what is happening?
That's not what's happening.
No, right now is not. We're not
No,
letting.
there's a lot of there's a lot of people that are
There's not.
addicted,
There's not
and
millions
there's
of people
also-
who are addicted, who are
No,
afraid
there
to
are.
seek treatment because they'll be going.
They are. They
going
are.
to
But
an
then,
actual
but then
social
there's but then
program.
there's people who are recovering, and then there's people who are doing great because those things aren't accessible. And if they move to a different state, they have no chance of getting crack, cocaine, heroin. They have no chance of getting that because they have a new life where you can't get that shit because it's illegal.
You think that that stops people who are truly addicted, though?
I do, because there's a lot of people who don't do drugs anymore, who have 10 to 15 years of addiction that they thought they couldn't beat.
That's great. And those people are the sole survivors, and everyone else who is being lied to about the healthcare system as far
Being
as it
lied
goes for
to.
addicts.
Pretty straight up, dude.
Yeah, let me go ahead and show you something real quick.
Where's the lie? I've been
Gotcha, bro.
waiting. What do you think, Miles? Okay. I respect your reply to not even engage. Oh, okay. Are we linking
The
this
most
guy on
common
Comedy
place to
Central?
go after hitting
No,
rock
he's on
bottom
HBO.
Other than Dave and Buster's. Don't let their smiles fool you. Every one of those men is at the lowest point in their lives.
What am I watching? You want me to watch this whole thing? How is this fact, first off?
Because it's an actual recording show.
This is... Alright, okay.
Um,
Alright. You know what, dude?
reporter show it. First off,
Dude, hold on.
Okay.
You're getting on me about facts, and you're calling an HBO report facts?
do you know what Vice News is on?
Are you calling...
Huh? Am I calling what? Am I calling an actual journalist a fact?
I'm done.
Holy
talking about
shit,
this,
dude. Do you know anything about journalism by any chance?
I know a little bit.
You know a little bit.
I also know.
A little bit.
I also
a little
know
bit.
that there's a reason why they put their
Yeah.
names at
Put
the end of
a-
it because
put a
they have to say
407.
who wrote it.
Yeah. Oh
They
wait.
have to say who
And
wrote it.
what- Oh, and also
Because
wait,
if
they
it's
can
not
get
true,
sued
then they
for
have to edit it.
liability? That's crazy because they can get sued if it's a false fact. It's crazy.
Dude, why don't you do yourself a favor like I did tonight and just take a step back and be open-minded to maybe you're wrong and
Look.
just and
See, the thing
What?
is, like,
what
You're asking me to do
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
something
interrupt you.
with,
What, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you saying?
how, like, I don't understand, like, how you could still, like, not. Did you like?
What?
There's no
I'm sorry I
competition.
interrupted you that you're so flustered. I didn't know that you were saying something. Your mic was off for a while. Okay, so what I was saying is I just want you to take a step back and just think about what you're saying. That's all. That's
I
all I'm saying. Just
understand.
think about it.
But let me just offer you a piece of advice when it comes to like having a conversation. You can actually have 2 miles. One, like when you're trying to convince somebody of something, you gotta come at
I'm
it
not
with you're trying to convince me. You're trying to convince me because you
I'm
said
not.
that you take a step
I'm
back.
not-
And then
I'm
the thing
not.
is, you gotta also like think about it like this way. Like I get you have a very strong opinion. Very strong opinion. People are they have the way you just don't ever say that don't ever say that this is only my opinion, and when you're trying, because that's just
Because I should say that it's fact and I need to link them something, or
no, because it's just like if you're gonna try to like be like super heavy like into calling me
what's
wrong,
the thing about
doesn't make
having an
sense.
opinion? Because it sounds to me like if somebody's opinion is even in question, it's wrong.
It's-
But if I link something from HBO or from, I don't even know what fucking website this is, then it becomes more tangible. How did
because there's
what world do you live in, dude?
the actual world, the world where proof provides evidence to an argument.
I don't think that you even communicate with people who are addicted to anything. I don't think you've ever talked to anybody who's been addicted to anything or a recovering addict.
Oh man, I'm so glad you said that.
I
you
truly
addicted
don't, because if you
my
think that that's the
aunt-
solution,
my
I truly
aunt
don't believe
It's
that.
on methadone. Dude, she's taking that shit in my house. That's how I know it's a fucking strip.
And you think making it more accessible for her to get is going to be the
I think
right thing to
her being educated when she was 16 before her friends gave her the fuck.
Right, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's
now she's
exactly what happened.
just like a lot of these people.
So like
So
a lot of these
making it
people,
more
if they would've
accessible is
had
going to
the-
help them?
Yeah, because guess what? When they're kids, and this is accessible, and you should be doing this because guess what? When you're older, they're going to teach you about it, and then they teach them about it. They see all this. What it actually has some real basis, you know. It has some like.
we
real
sell
thing.
it because we say you
Because
shouldn't take.
you sell it so that the people who do get fucked by the system eventually have a way to actually be processed out through the same system that they process themselves into. Kind of like with alcohol recovery, dude. It's, you know, like a lot of these social programs that pay for alcohol recovery are brought on by the alcohol industry. Except guess what? Rehab isn't regulated because it's not a government program, because it's not healthcare.
Well, I know what an opinion is, but this dude needs facts. So I'm glad that you linked the dictionary proof.
Indisputable case, correct. Yeah. Because, okay, so Miles, let me ask you a question. In these countries, does it work? The ones I linked before? Yes, that is a fact, correct. It's an indisputable fact that it works.
Okay,
those countries.
okay, well, it reduced. Okay, what you're actually saying is that it reduced drug usage, right? It didn't
Yes.
cure it. It didn't help.
You can never cure addict. There's no.
Okay, let me finish what I have to say, dude, because you interrupt me all the fucking time. What I'm trying to say is you think that because it worked in those 10 countries, it reduced drug usage. And are you also saying that they helped pay for recovery for addicts with the money that they made?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what happened.
Okay, now let me run the same scenario by you. The American government is fully aware of the cocaine addiction for decades. And then they say, well, let's take it up a notch and then create a new substance. So if you think that they're willing to go as far to do that, do you really think that they would pay for recovery when they make money on addicts?
Dude, man, you know it's crazy how like you keep saying that you're talking about the government, bro. Like,
right, the people who run the country that we live in freely.
Yes.
Yes.
And
I'm talking about those people.
You're talking at like from a perspective of like we don't vote
an
for
American
those people.
citizen. I do.
Yeah.
You don't vote for who the fuck owns pharmacies. That's just how that works.
I mean, sure, but you vote for people
And
that,
until
like,
somebody who is willing to
accept the
get
lobbying
assassinated
money.
goes into office.
Okay, sure. Okay, so now we're like, okay, like
You
I said,
really think that the system at hand is susceptible to change? Then I think
now is the time.
Okay.
Why not? Look, Jeremy, like, let's. Your whole argument is the government won't let this happen. Let's go back to something like the civil rights movement. Easy enough. People said the same exact thing.
Has nothing to do with making money.
Oh, are you sure?
Nothing to do with making money.
The prison system back then had nothing to do with making money. Like
they didn't make money like they didn't make money like they do now.
Sharecropping had nothing to do with making money. Like there's lots of things we can talk about as far as like the government cannot control. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at it from a completely helpless perspective, then there's a lot of things that never would happen.
I'm not hopeless. I understand how the government works.
The reason I say that is because you're only asking.
Your argument is
the only thing I hear.
making it more accessible is
the better idea.
It has been proven to be a better idea. That is my argument. Yes, has been proven to be a better idea than doing nothing. Yes, that is my argument.
If it was like proven in Russia or China, I think that's when I would even humor the idea.
Yeah, but you see, they're more crazy than we
Bigger
are.
country with more addicts. I know. Isn't that crazy how that works? When the numbers are bigger,
Yeah, I guess.
And there's more people, and there's bigger things at play, like corporations and government. What? And then already gangs? Oh, what about the gangs? You think they're just gonna give up and stop selling crack and heroin and trying to get people addicted? Oh, I don't know, man.
That's crazy. Man.
What do I know?
What happened with the weed thing?
But you're right, dude. What do I know?
What happened with the weed thing, dude? What happened? How much money did they lose?
More people smoke weed now than ever.
Yeah, but how much
Fact.
money did that go
Fact.
into?
More people drink alcohol now than ever. Fact.
Yep.
More people smoke cigarettes now than ever. Fact.
Yep.
Because it's legal.
And less people are going to jail. Less people are getting fucked up.
Yeah, so let's
Whatever.
make meth. Let's make meth and PCP legal.
Yeah, so they can get
Let's
educated
make
and heal properly.
PCP legal, where people run
So,
through the streets naked.
There are
and
gonna be
flip a
people that
car.
die. There are gonna be people that die. There are gonna be people that get hurt. People are getting hurt. People
Hold
are
on.
dying now.
So me having a hopeless mind state, you can call it hopeless because I don't think that that's what it is. You saying people are should die from
People
drug use?
will die.
I think
people are
I
dying.
think that you're insane for saying that. Personally.
How's that insane? People
Because
are dying.
you wish the death upon more people.
How
You
am I
wish
wishing death upon more people? I'm saying people are dying, Jeremy. How is doing nothing going to change anything or make it?
So you think it's a good idea to make PCP?
See,
You know
here's the
what
thing.
PCP does to people?
See, your argument, Jeremy, you're using.
I'm asking actual
valuable
drugs. I'm
arguments.
asking
Using
actual.
valuable
You think all
arguments.
drugs should be legal because
See,
it's it's
valuable
proven to work?
Yeah.
Do they have PCP in Portugal? No. They have PCP in DC though.
Guess what they do sell in Portugal? PCP, bro. Crazy, bro. They sell every drug in Portugal. Every
they
drug.
sell every drug.
Every.
You
drug.
been there? You been there?
You know the drug
You know-
dealers
you
don't
talk-
find every drug.
You talk
You
to
don't
them?
think
I
that
don't.
most prevalent drugs aren't?
I don't think
You don't
that
think it
PCP.
travels? You don't think it travels?
I don't think it's prominent. I don't think it's prominent.
Crazy, bro. It's probably not as popular because there's better
Can you
stuff.
link me? Can you link me something where they have a PCP problem in Portugal? Because I'd love to read that. If you could link anything.
Let me see, because I'm pretty sure. I don't think they have a huge problem.
Did you
but,
read it yesterday? Are you pretty sure?
Like a small.
No, you last week. When'd you read it?
Is Portugal. Yo, bro, I love how you're shut. Die, and stuff, or
No,
facts where-
I just think
No,
it's
no, I
crazy
know, like,
that
I
you
think
want more
it's
people
great.
to die.
I think it's great because you're telling me for a fact that you looked at the
You
reports from the American people showing that when
I'm
alcohol was
asking.
legalized,
I'm asking if you think
prohibition
more
that there
people
was more
dying is a good
arrests.
thing, and you
Let me
said
ask you-
yeah.
No, I said that people will
That's
die.
what you said.
No, once again, you're putting words in people. I don't say that.
You said yeah.
No,
You
I
said
said
people will die. That's
People
exactly
will
what you
die.
said.
You're right. It's exactly what I said. I didn't
Okay,
say
then I'm
more
not
people.
putting any words in your mouth because I'm
implying.
saying what
You're-
you said.
No,
How do you
you're implying.
disagree with what you said?
Because no, I didn't disagree. I said
You said
exactly what I
yeah,
said. People
more
will
people
die.
or people will
People
die. That's
will
what you
die.
said.
No shit, dude. People are dying right now. Crazy. how it
Right,
works.
because it's illegal and people are dying.
Hey, guess what, bro? If it was legal, then they would get.
They would get more fucked up because it's
No,
legal.
they
and
wouldn't
could
get more
buy
fucked up. They would go to the hospital because they wouldn't be afraid. Friends would take their friends to hospitals. Friends would take their friends
can't
into the emergency room
get
because they
saved
weren't
from
afraid of getting
from a PCP
arrested.
OD.
That's
You
crazy,
can't
bro.
get saved from most of these
Bro,
ODs, dude.
You gotta
It
think
is
about
crazy.
the rational thing, dude. Oh, maybe the friend would have taken him.
The
maybe
rational
he
thing,
overdosed.
right.
Like, maybe, like,
Right.
they took him to
Hold on,
hospital,
hold
they
on,
called
hold on, hold on.
911.
Hold on,
Holy
hold on,
shit.
hold on. You think that making every drug legal is the rational thing? The rational thing.
Dude, you have no facts. Once again, you still have like, come on, dude. You gotta realize that, right? You're standing on nothing. Even your argument of me, about me
You
wanting.
really think that that's rational?
You said that I wanted people to die, and that's the crazy thing is because that's exactly
I
what
didn't.
the
I didn't
supporters would
ask
say.
that.
Something exactly like that.
said.
They would
I
say, "Oh,
said-
you agree with this, so automatically this is the answer." No, that's
because that's the
not what
outcome.
happened. No,
Because
it's
2
not.
plus 2 is
You
4, dude.
assume that's the outcome because you have no facts. You have nothing to base it on. You have a super
Okay,
bullshit.
because it's all theory,
valuable-
dude.
no,
you
it's
you can't
not.
have a fact on
I'm
theory.
pretty sure that.
Has it been in America? No, so it's not
Oh
a
my
fact,
God.
dude.
It's not. People are not
You're
people
an
everywhere.
idiot because
That's
it worked in
crazy. People
Portugal and
aren't human
Sweden. You think it's
everywhere.
gonna work here? You're out of your mind.
Dude, that's the crazy thing. Is you just still have nothing to stand on. You have no legs.
I have
None.
2 legs, and I also have an opinion, and I also have a pretty good understanding of addiction,
Yeah, but
regardless of what you think.
Okay, so once again, look up the numbers of people who died.
I don't need to look up numbers to be
after
safe and
prohibition.
secure in my opinion, dude.
Yeah.
I
so-
understand. I've seen it myself. Isn't that crazy how that works?
Yeah,
how
let me
life
show you-
experiences
let me show you
are.
something how this.
And fuck, what? An argument graph? Get the fuck out of here. Who
Yeah,
are you?
So you have the argument, then you have deductive, and they're either invalid
This guy
or
has a cheat sheet
valid,
for his arguments
sound
to
or
see if he's
unsound.
winning or not.
it's
To
not.
see if he's winning or
You
not.
have no conclusive anything. I'm just showing you how this works. Like this is why, like I have. Like,
This is
there's
how
nothing
what
changing.
works. This is how what works. How arguments work?
Yes, you have to have cognitive thought. I can't like.
What about when Hitler had cognitive thought and won
That
over so
wasn't
many people
cognitive
with
thought.
his
That was
argument?
inductive. That was weak. It was uncognitive. He
It was
won people
weak?
over through. Guess what? Show. It was showmanship.
No, it wasn't.
Crazy. Oh,
No,
wasn't
it
showmanship?
wasn't.
You thought that he? Oh, have you ever heard any of his speeches, Jeremy? You think those were
Uh,
actual cognitive thoughts that made sense
I know
to
how
the
he
majority
rose
of
to
public?
power. I know how he rose to power.
Yo, great dude.
He
That-
spoke at rally. He spoke
Yeah,
at
he spoke
public
at
rallies,
rallies,
at
but he's
bars. He spoke at
exactly
bars.
Like Trump. Exactly like Trump.
speak at
Infallible
bars.
arguments that were bullshit that could
He
not
didn't
be.
speak at bars. And those two
Whatever,
people are
dude.
nothing alike.
Whatever.
Dude.
Whatever. They're
Those two
exactly the
people are
same
nothing
thing.
alike.
Same exact argumentative types.
The fact that
means
you think that
there's
those two
no
people
argument
are
in it.
alike means that your thought process is diluted.
Oh, I'm
Because
sure my thought
those
process is
people are
diluted.
nothing alike.
It,
Do you really think that those two people are alike?
Dude,
Like,
Jeremy,
honestly.
see, once again, this is how you argue exactly like them. Because this is
Them?
this is exactly how you think that.
But hold on, I'm asking if you really think
Where
that Trump
is
is like
the
Hitler.
substance? I think he speaks like him. Yeah, they're both great speakers.
I'm trying to, but he keeps trying to personally attack me when I'm asking
Personally
questions.
attack.
You're
That's
calling
the
me
crazy
Trump
thing.
supporters, and you're just bringing up
I'm saying
Hitler
you
and
argue
stuff.
like them. I'm saying you argue like them.
Yeah,
'cause
it's
you have no
personally
facts.
attacking me,
That's
and,
not a
and that's
personal
not
attack.
that's not a
I'm
fact.
just
It is a
saying you have
personal attack.
a valuable argument.
That's actually a fact right there. Is that
That's
was a
actually
personal
valuable
attack?
argument.
Dude,
And you're asking me to see something from a perspective that is purely based on
I'm
opinion.
trying to understand where you're coming from. That's all. I'm not trying to call you anything. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just generally trying to understand where you're coming from. Because if you're, I'm seriously still stuck on you saying that making all drugs legal is rational. Do you really believe that? That's the word you want to use? Rational.
Look, first off, you use that word, so once
No,
again,
you
you're
said that word. I would never have said that if
You
that's.
never said the word
I got caught on that. You said that. Whether you remember it or not, you said rational, and I've had
God,
stuck on
no.
it since.
I had agreed with what I said. You had asked the question, so that's the truth. You would let it, correct? You would let the question, yes or no? How do you not remember that?
Wait, what? I
Did you
don't know
not?
that.
Did you not lead that question?
Lead.
Did you not lead with the question of?
I don't understand the
You think that's
question,
rational?
dude. What do you mean? Did I lead?
Did you ask?
I didn't.
the
I didn't
question?
have the
Did you
word
ask the
rational
question?
set up in my mind, and then.
Did you do
No,
that
I didn't
somewhere?
ask you if
I'm
you
pretty sure.
thought it was
I'm pretty sure
rational.
the word that I said.
You said
I'm
it
pretty sure
first.
I agreed with you.
No, you said the word rational first. That's what
Look,
I'm stuck on.
Dude, do I think that there is evidence to prove that it is rational?
That's not what I'm asking.
It doesn't matter.
I'm
what you're
asking if
It
you
doesn't
would
matter.
use the
It
word
doesn't matter.
rational.
It doesn't matter what you're asking, Jeremy, because the truth of there is evidence, there is
I know.
facts
I'm not.
to prove that this is a rational idea that can.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's okay. There it is.
Yes,
There it
there
is.
you go.
Yes, there it is. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
I know.
But
It's
for
a lot of
you,
personal
because
attacks
you
and a
can,
lot of.
you can't see it because once again, it's gonna go
butthurtness.
to the whole thing where the
Dude, I
and what
can't
happened.
see it. But here's the
Whoa.
thing. Here's the
But
thing,
only-
man. I'm not trying to change your opinion on anything. All I'm trying to do is understand where you're coming from yet again. But you can't. It just seems like you're not secure in what you're believing in, and that's why you're so rocked right now. Because all I'm trying to do is understand where you're coming from, and it seems like that. Me even asking means that I'm an idiot and I'm a Trump supporter. All that I'm not, by the way. But you're
First
saying
off,
like I
I'm not
argue
saying
like
you're a Trump
them.
supporter, but it really irks me when people argue like you. I apologize.
I'm not arguing, dude. I'm trying to understand.
No.
You know how
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hold
The
on.
part that triggered me the most earlier in the conversation, when you had said, and exactly the words that you had said was like, well, this, like, when I had given you the information, and that you had said, well, I have my opinion, and that really pisses me off. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's
because
just that's
I
something
do
that
have
triggers me.
one. I
Yeah,
do
that's
have
great.
one.
That's great. But like when you have like, it's just that was the thing that pissed me off. Like, cause that's nothing, dude. I'm sorry. Like,
My opinion's nothing,
like,
but your
when it comes
your
to,
links
like-
are everything.
not like that. It's not. It has. You're taking it too personally.
What?
Yeah, you're taking it way too personally. Like, okay, like everyone can have their opinions, but like when you're in a conversation, you're asking me to show you like this stuff, and you're trying to like you're asking me
Okay,
to like
all right.
tell you my rationale, and then you're like
Okay.
saying that my like the things that I have seen or like
All
I have,
right,
like, the
I'll
evidence that I've
acknowledge.
found to, like,
Okay,
stuff
all right,
that
I acknowledge that. Okay,
you know,
dude,
create
chill,
my opinion.
chill, dude. All right, I said okay like 15 times. I acknowledge that I take things personal. Okay, can you acknowledge that you also do?
Yeah, but specifically,
But
when-
no.
when
I
these-
don't want to hear. But you're still wrong. I want
No.
you to say that you
No,
also take things
I
personal
do
too.
take things personal.
Okay,
It's just,
well then
but it had
there's-
nothing to do with
okay,
anything
there's
else. It was
two
just that one
people-
thing.
Two people do an argument. That's all I'm
Alright.
trying to say.
Hey,
And
look,
that-
I agree with you.
The thing about an opinion is I don't need a link for it to be right because that's my opinion.
Your opinion can't be right, Jeremy. I'm sorry. Your opinion can't be right.
What I'm trying to tell you though is that there's no one that's right or wrong in a discussion.
Okay, you're right, but
It's
you
all
can't.
opinionated.
You can't
It's
say.
all opinionated.
Okay, but just please
I'm not
don't-
saying that I'm
Yeah.
right. It's not what I said.
I know.
I'm
but
trying to. All I said was I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, and you're saying that I have nothing because I have no facts. When all I wanted to do was find out where you were coming from. That was
but,
it.
yeah. Okay, I agree.
There's no one
I
that's
agree.
right or
Just-
wrong in a
just
discussion, dude.
understand-
That's how you understand other people's
Understand
opinions
when you
and their
call
thought
me an
process.
idiot for thinking that it was that, and then you say I have
Okay,
and
yeah,
then
I said that.
saying
You
your
got
opinion.
offended, dude. Okay,
Yeah.
I apologize
what
already.
I have.
Wanna
you know.
keep
I'm just
bringing it
saying.
up? It's fine, dude. I'm sorry again, but do you get where I'm coming from? That I don't need to link a chart on how to talk to somebody, and that
I get it. It's true.
me saying something doesn't mean that I need to have a link for fact because it is my actual opinion, and that I'm an individual that actually has a working brain, and I think that things could be right or wrong, and you could think that they're maybe not right or wrong. Do you understand that?
Look, dude, I
You
get
know how
it.
voting works?
But once again, I'm gonna go back to the whole thing where opinions can't be, and you can't
No
say
one
that. I'm
said
just
that
saying.
they were right. No
I'm
one
just saying.
said that.
You can't act like you're
I'm not.
is anything because it's nothing.
You're
Based off
so.
of nothing.
You're
It's
like
true.
seeing red. You're seeing red right now, dude.
Look,
Because all I'm
'cause-
trying to say is, I never said that my opinion was right. That's what you're stuck on. That's
Look.
what you're still stuck on. I never said that my opinion's right
You're
and yours is
acting
wrong.
like you weren't implying that when you had
Oh
said that
my
my
God.
rationale was faulty. That's
my
all I'm saying.
God. I'm just trying to get on the same level as you, man. I'm just
Look.
trying to say that I can have an opinion and you can have
Yeah,
an opinion.
you can
That's all
have
I'm
an
trying to
opinion, but look,
And
I'm
I don't
just-
care if you think it's right or wrong because I never said if it was right or wrong because
Okay.
it's an opinion.
Just
Just like you
here's the
said,
thing.
it's an
Here's the
opinion.
thing. Just you can't like when you have an opinion, that's fine. You can't. Like,
What
Just
can
don't-
I? What
don't
can't I
compare
do with my
apples to
opinion?
oranges. Don't compare apples to oranges.
Yeah, well, your orange is a link
An
about
orange.
10
My
10
orange is an
countries that
actual
work.
orange. Yeah, my orange is an orange. Your apple's an apple. Thank you. That's it. That's it. Facts are facts. Opinions are opinions. Just. That's
I
it.
think. I really don't want to say anything else because I feel like we're on good common ground. But dude, as a friend, genuinely, I think that if you're gonna be spewing stuff like this, you should read into things a little bit more. And just think about what you're saying. Just think
But-
about it. That's all I have to say.
problem
Because
I
I'm
have
doing
is-
the same thing. I'm trying to get where you're coming from. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay, look. Let me put this.
You're
way.
not trying to understand where I'm coming from at all because you're brick wall. But
I just want you to think and calm down and just think about it for real.
I have a very strong
I know.
reason for feeling the way I do,
I thought
specifically
you were gonna say opinions. So never mind.
specifically because of the way that people act currently. It is something that pisses me off.
So it's your.
consistently.
Okay. Never
It's
mind.
something
I'm
that
not
pisses me
gonna
off
say anything.
consistently. It's just, it's really, I am not biased.
Yeah,
I
that's
hate
what
when
it
people-
is.
I hate when people try to act like their opinions are. That's not true. It is not true. People have been doing that for years. It is the same argument many people are
No,
doing. And it's not true.
you're misinterpreting what an opinion is.
No, you're
Because
misinterpreting.
you think if somebody has an opinion that they automatically think that their opinion is right? Isn't that what you're saying?
Look, dude, like, okay, like,
To what extent can somebody even have an opinion at that point? Do I need to do research on everything I think about? Like, what is the best coffee?
I mean, I would hope.
What's
you
the
know, you
where's the
kinda-
best place to get gas?
You would kind of do that. I don't know that. I'm sorry. Like, I don't.
See, that's the thing.
like,
You
information
think
and
different.
formulated
That's the
opinions.
thing. You think different than I do, and that's how opinions work too. Okay, everybody's different. No one is
I'm
right
sorry
in their
that, you know,
thought process because that's their thought process. That's what rules and laws are set up for, so we can all have guidelines to follow. That's I mean, that's just the anarchy, I guess,
Yeah,
kind of with humans.
I mean, yeah, I guess I fall more strict.
No. I'm just, dude. See, this is what I mean. You're not open to anything. It's like full brick wall. I hear you clapping your hands in the background.
It's-
Like it's some game. Right. I just don't want you to go off and link a few things and think that you're automatically right because
Look,
that's
dude.
not how things work.
when you ask for information and you ask for, like, you know, like where these things come
I
from,
didn't-
and then you say
one
there's no way
didn't
it
ask.
could work in America, that's cool. I mean, but you're not giving me anything to say like this
Dude,
is why I want to work in America.
You're like, you know who you're like? If
That's
you're
just one
gonna
of those
call
things,
me a
man.
Trump supporter, I'm gonna call you a LeBron supporter because you are just like a LeBron supporter.
I don't know how.
You're linking numbers and facts in his high school, what he drank as water in high school, what kind of like vitamins he had, and if it worked this year, if it didn't work that year. You need like just facts on everything. So you can't. You're not secure in thinking, well, maybe he's gonna lose this year. Maybe it wouldn't work.
It's a possibility, sure, but
Oh.
you're not giving me anything.
We're
to
getting
think
some
about.
ground. That's all I
Hold on,
wanted. That's
Jeremy,
all I
what's the
wanted.
question?
That's
What-
all I wanted.
Where would that have came from? That's what I'm asking. Where would
What
that
do you
came
mean, where would what have
from?
come
Where would
from?
that have come from? Where would that idea have come from?
The possibility of something not working?
Yeah, dude. What kind of information? What kind of piece? What kind of opinion?
What?
Like, what kind of opinion?
I don't need
So
to.
I can-
What do you
Oh.
mean? What?
You just
What?
that's it.
What?
All right, okay.
What do you mean? Where would that come from? The
All right,
internet?
I mean, no, you have no. I mean, all right, there's no basis. That's fine. Which I just got that on the clear. That's it. That's all I needed.
No, I didn't understand the question. So
Where would that have came from? Where would that inspiration have came
where
from?
would
In that
what
entire
inspiration
conversation we had earlier. From anything that you said. That,
Can you just clarify so I can answer this properly?
Okay,
Because
so
I don't even think you know.
here's what I'm asking you, Jeremy. The inspiration for the idea of, oh, hey, maybe this idea wouldn't have worked. Or, hey, this is an idea, or this is a reason why this possibly wouldn't work.
Right.
Where would that have came from in the argument that you presented to me? Or where would that come to
I
discussion?
don't know where in the
In the
room it
discussion.
would have came from.
Well,
I don't
like,
know
what part of
where.
the discussion. Like, what part
I don't know what part of the chart it would have come from, that one that you linked, but
No, from the words that you
whether-
said. I don't care about the chart anymore. I care
if you can't think for
where
your
from
own,
the words that you.
if
No.
you,
The whole point.
I'm
was,
answering.
The
I'm
whole
asking.
point
I'm
was
answering.
to share. No. The whole point was to share each other's, opinions.
Right.
From your opinion, where would that have come from? The way you. I'm asking you that. This has nothing to do with the argument.
Okay,
Purely
then
to do with the words.
it came from me asking you how you think it would work. It came from me asking you how. Yeah, it's exact. I already said it. It
came from the
yeah.
first question. Okay.
Right. So when I was telling you to be open-minded and saying that I was also trying to be open-minded and see where you were coming from, that's where that came from. I think that was like 75% of the conversation. So I don't know what that proves.
But that was at the end of the discussion. That was what I was trying to say.
Isn't that how it works? Isn't that how the exchange of information works? You start out and maybe don't know something. By the end of the discussion, you learn a little bit.
Yeah, it's a crazy idea, dude. But what I was trying
Idea,
to tell
what?
you was there was at no point in that conversation where you had even implied anything like that besides in the form of it just went.
Okay, you do the same. But I'm fully accountable for what I said. But you, on the other hand, are so self-righteous that
So
a link or
self-righteous.
two, yeah, a
The
link
thing
or
is,
two
no,
is all you
Jeremy,
need.
The thing
That's
was,
all you
when you
need.
call someone an idiot, and then go on the basis of opinion,
I'm sorry I hurt your feelings,
there's
man.
gonna be a small little thing where it's like, hey, dude,
The world is gonna
something
hurt
to
your
stand
feelings
on.
sometimes.
You're
I'm
right.
sorry, but
It's cool,
but
also
sometimes
understand.
people are gonna call you an idiot.
Yeah,
I
but also,
I think somebody saying that making all drugs legal merits calling them an idiot. But that's my
fair.
opinion. Again,
yeah, it's your
my own
totally your
opinion.
opinion. And once again,
thank you.
there is nothing that proves that.
Right, because it doesn't
You're
need
right.
proof. That's not
I
how.
mean,
That's not how. That's not
when
how
it
life
comes to-
works.
Oh yeah,
That's not how. That's not
exactly
how
how
the
life
space
works.
works.
How does laws work, dude?
How are the pyramids built?
How
Show
do
me a
laws
fact.
work, bro? How do laws
Show
work?
me a fact.
How do laws work?
Show me a fact
How
on how.
do laws work? You have a bunch of people to get together with their opinion.
Keep clapping your hands, dude. But I'm stuck.
What is
on my
right?
question
What
now.
is
How are the
wrong? And
pyramids
then guess
built?
what? You change the social premise. Crazy.
I'm asking you a question. Can you
Crazy,
give me a
bro.
fact?
Humans.
Since that's how life
Humans
works.
are how the pyramids are built, bro.
Since
There
there's
you
an
go.
answer for
That's
everything.
the answer right there. Humans.
Did you get that from the same link?
No, dude, I got that from common sense, bro. It's
From
crazy.
common sense.
Yeah, crazy,
right?
bro.
From
Humans.
rational common sense.
Yep, humans. It's crazy. You look in the history books, you can probably see the humans were there.
Oh, they have pictures of them?
Oh, they do. Actually, it's called hieroglyphics. They're little
Wow.
funny human pictures.
Wow. Yeah, see, I'm learning a lot. That's how this works, the exchange of information. See, I don't think I ever would have known that. I'm really happy that I got to walk away knowing that all drug use can just be simply answered by giving out more drugs. Really glad that's what we're talking about.
I wouldn't say give. You tax the shit out of it so they
Okay,
can't
well
buy it.
then, giving is technically making it available for sale, and you can't be arrested for doing it. So yeah, it's kind of
Yeah, but you can also
lenient than
go to the
being
hospital and
illegal.
get cared for it. Crazy.
Cured? You think that there's cures for addiction?
I think mental health,
There's treatment, but there's not cures.
but you could be on the process.
The cure is the individual making recovery. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier, but because it's not a fact, or I don't have a link to show you.
The brain of an addict is a lot different from the brain of a normal person. Because the drugs
It's
rewired.
actually not. It's actually not. Show me that fact. It's actually not. Wired different. There's people that are sober that have OCD. And
What
then
does
there's also-
OCD have to do with being a fucking addict, dude? What the fuck?
Because if you have OCD, your brain's wired differently.
Oh,
It had
crazy, dude. Is
nothing
that
to do
also
with
not
drug
a mental illness?
There's not a here you go cure for that, dude. Just so you know.
No. Oh, wow, dude, crazy. But what do? They give
There's
you
no
something that helps
there's
with
no
it.
cure for heroin
What do you
addicts. They
think
don't
methadone
have a.
is?
That's not a cure.
It's not a
That's
cure,
what-
but guess what? It's a treatment. And people misuse that treatment, yeah, because sustainable treatment, because people don't do it.
Because it's available and it's legal. That's how they misuse it, and they know. It's
There's
not
no
like they don't
social-
know.
yeah. There's no social programs to stop you, or to help you, or to seek treatment.
So whose fault is that?
Once again,
Is that the government's fault? That's the government's fault.
Yeah, you gotta make laws for that. I mean,
people.
there's no consumer protection against. There's no consumer protection against rehab. Is that should be
Consumer
government
protection. I think that when you
Better
take
Business
DARE,
Bureau.
I think when you
It's
take
kinda like-
DARE in 5th grade, they tell you not to do drugs. I think
Yeah, dude.
it's a
I mean-
little bit.
And they also tell you that the cigarette people advertise kids.
Yeah, and the people that do it choose to do it because it's legal. They can smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, little kids, it's not legal. You still get them. It's crazy how that works. Not a lot of them, because a lot of these people that are homeless choose to be because they're addicts. They choose to do this. There's programs here in Las Vegas where you don't even have to work. And I know because I tell homeless people this all the time. You don't have to work. You have to go there and admit that you want help. And you know how many people go? Maybe 1 out of 20. I deal with the same individuals all the time
who are tweaked out, who have accessibility to getting better, but choose not to because addiction is that powerful. But I don't have a fact or a link to show you that because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Dude, it's great. I'm glad
Right?
that you deal with this. I understand that you deal with the person who deals with this, not the person
But
who's
do
upset
you
about it.
do you understand that
don't.
there is help and that it just doesn't work
And
for
it's
some
just
people
not
who
as
are
good.
addicts?
You're right, and it's not even. The people
What
who
what
have,
I don't
people
what
who
I don't
have
get
insurance can't even get the proper help, dude. People who
what,
have
what
insurance can't
I
even get from.
yeah because
So it's like it's
you
crazy.
think that funding more into these institutions that help people like that's gonna cure it just like that. What I'm trying
It's
to
not
get at,
gonna
dude.
cure it. It's gonna help it. And the thing is, dude, what do you think? We're gonna.
I don't think it's gonna help it.
You think all drug use is like should be illegal?
Yes, I do actually. I actually do think that
All
because
right,
you know why?
All right,
Restricting the access to getting any
whatever.
of that.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates is a cool dude.
Bill Clinton.
Oh well, he didn't make it illegal. He just made it harder on the people that got caught.
Hey,
Which ironically the CIA set up. You should watch.
Same thing.
You should
I
watch
watched
the
it.
Rose documentary.
I read the actual document that they had.
Oh, you read the whole one? The whole
Court
was it one
transcript?
page?
No, it was like 254 pages, where they took them to court to see if they like had admitted. The only thing they really admitted to was knowing that this was in process. Attention, the drugs get sent throughout the
How do you
black
hold
community.
on. This is probably the last thing I'm going to ask about this, but how do you think that funding more into these rehabilitation centers is going to help with in my opinion, the increased addicts that are going to be going in there since it is available now and it is accessible to everybody since it's being paid for by the taxes, like you said, of the available product? How do you think that increasing funding there is going to help?
I think, my honestly, I believe in my own heart is that people who do these drugs from a very young age are introduced to people who are truly too far gone. And no, just hear me out, please. Please, just they're too far gone. There's a lot of people who are introduced to drugs at a young age. There are a lot of people who are introduced to drugs at a young age, and they have no idea what they're getting into. They don't have any education about these drugs. In a lot of places, they don't even have proper drug education, like Arizona. There's a lot of people I know in Arizona that are drug addicts now. Heroin, pills, crack, meth, you name it.
Okay.
They don't have proper drug education. They don't legalize anything. People are afraid to take their friends if they OD to the hospital. People are afraid to call even for their friends if they OD. Those people die.
Right.
People can't test their drugs that they buy here in the United States. Those kids die.
Right.
Like,
You know why though? Because they chose
to do
that.
it. Yeah, but if we could help these kids, if we could save some of these lives, if they choose to do it and they can do it responsibly, or they can, guess what? Take the extra
But-
step and say, hey,
okay,
I don't need
here-
this.
Why don't we
With
just
the actual help and actual programs.
hold on, Miles? Can we meet in a middle ground? Yeah, please drink responsibly. Can we meet in a middle ground here where instead of making it all legal, we instead increase funding and rehabilitation? Because that I actually think that we should. I think that there should be more help for these people who are addicts, even though there is a lot out there now. But I think more money there could help.
I don't think it's looked at like the way it should be. And honestly, it's just not. There's
What-
no
They're
there's
not.
no things.
No. For a lot of for all of these rehabilitation, you have to be willing to do it. You can't be forcibly admitted to going into rehab. You don't have
the
to.
AA is probably the best in my opinion.
You don't have to
Some
go to
people
AA
get
meetings.
some people get court ordered.
Yeah.
Some.
You actually don't have to go to AA meetings. You don't even if that's if you copped a plea for whatever you got evicted or that's different. That's specific. I'm talking about for all people. Well, yeah, those people actually because they're court ordered to go through AA, but not everybody's court ordered to go through AA.
It's because there's
Surprisingly,
there's no
AA
regulation.
has
It helps
helped
a
a lot
lot.
of people.
But that's because AA is probably the best out of every single program, and in all honesty, no program will come close to that. Every other like privately owned place, every other place.
It's because alcohol is really easy to beat mentally. They don't have AA for oxycodone addicts because a lot of them don't go into recovery. A lot of them stay addicted, and then when they can't get a hold of oxy or whatever pill that they're on, that's when they go to heroin, and then it's this spiral of cocktails and drugs that they get. And yeah, it's not true for all of them, but for some of them, this is like that's what happens. All I'm saying is that there is help out there, and it is free, because this actually North Las Vegas pays a lot of money for recovery for these homeless people, because we don't want homeless people living on the street, because I have to clean that up, so we pay for that. Nobody takes it. Nobody's willing to do that. It's free. You get housing, you get recovery. Nobody wants that, because you know what they want? What they're addicted to. That's the sad. They're willing to live on the street for it if that's not proof enough. They're willing to do things that they would never normally do, ever, as a rational thinking human being. These people aren't thinking rational.
I agree. It's because their brain is literally being rewired because of
Right.
how overstimulated it is.
And making it more accessible to these people is not a good idea, because they're not thinking in the rational state of mind that, yeah, I can get help. They don't want help.
But to have that help free and available through the same system that
It is most of the time. Most of the time, unless you're going to rehab. Group meetings.
Nah,
Rehab is something all by itself. That's why it's privately owned.
Yeah. The thing is even rehab centers, even the highest paid person in the U.S. government for drug treatment didn't know how to help his own son. His own son was a heroin addict, and he died.
Do you know why? Do you know why though? Because there's no cure. When it comes to recovery, it's all about the individual. It all has to do with if you are willing to be sober. There's no cure. There's no yoga class. There's no chip that you can get at a meeting. It's all within that individual. It's not that simple to just cure addiction like that.
But how do you start it? How can you help no one?
What do you mean? How do you start it?
Okay, let me put it this way. How does the person who was in charge of the entire government programs and entire structuring of like actual drug addiction?
That has absolutely nothing to do with his son's addiction. That has absolutely nothing to do with his son's addiction.
But here's the thing.
I think that should even be further proof that that's how powerful addiction is. If that CEO,
no one can treat it. If you're saying it's not.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying it all has to do with that individual, and that's the big factor here.
You're not even listening me out. Like, you're not listening. He had no idea where to start for his son's treatment, because guess what? There is no place in the United States to do that. There is no place that has even a sliver of a success rate. But do you know where they have programs that have success rates?
Do you know why that there's no big number for success rate? It's not because rehab is ripping people off and they're taking people's money. It's because that these things that they do are really addicting, and these people are willing to do terrible things to get these things. They're willing to rob stores. They're willing to shoot people. They're willing to sell drugs to get these
rehab centers are ripping people off. It actually is because there's no state regulations in California.
How out of all of this?
In the biggest places, yep.
Let's take just one individual. Let's take Tom.
Look, okay.
How is it?
Millions of people, my friend. Millions of people.
Let me just ask you, how is Tom?
How is Tom, Mary Jane? I can keep naming.
How is he responsible? Or hold on. How is the rehab center responsible for if that man is willing to be sober?
Because they don't provide proper treatments.
What's proper treatment?
Actual programs that have been used and proven in Europe.
Give me one.
Guess what? In Europe, they have many proper treatment places, dude.
Give me one. Give me one proper treatment that. What teaches a heroin addict not to do heroin anymore? Because if that's a thing, then we should be all on
to
that.
An actual healthcare provider and healthcare services that they have. Guess what? Switzerland, Uruguay, and you're right. They have all that shit there. So,
dude, even if you go there, you know how you do that? Because you, as the individual, want to go there to be sober, right?
Yeah, you know, people
What
go
if
to
you
rehab
don't?
and then
What if that
and
individual
then
doesn't
realize
want?
that
That's
they don't have the accessibility to actual treatment. There is no treatment available, dude. That's what I'm saying.
there
It's,
is though. There is though. You should look up right now, North Las
Dude,
Vegas homeless recovery. I'll look it up for you.
yeah. Go ahead.
That's one of them. That's Las Vegas, where you can donate instead of the city paying for it. People donate on that one. This one is North Las Vegas. I don't think this is the actual site though. This is just a directory. The Shade Tree, we work with those people a lot. You don't have to pay to get into any of these. You just have to be willing to do it. All these shelters, dude. You don't have to pay to get any of these.
Yeah.
All these shelters don't have recovery, but the one that North Las Vegas offers does.
And these ones probably provide better treatment than the people who have it.
Listen, we could put 50 billion into treatment, but what good is it if we can't get?
They're
people
not getting
to
the
go?
proper treatment, dude. They're not getting the proper everything, man.
They're
What kind of drug?
You're gonna forcibly make people to take treatment even though they don't want to do it, because that's what it sounds like. It all has to do with the individual being willing to go down there to get the help.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if we could prevent them from even needing to, wouldn't that be the best solution than to just trying to?
How
like,
would you
know,
prevent it though if they're already addicted?
education?
That they are educated. People know about drug usage.
Okay, how do you stop addiction over a period of time? Let's say you educate the.
I don't have the
people,
answer. I don't think
people-
anybody has the answer
gotta-
to that
you gotta
because there's
educate
addicts
people.
everywhere.
Yeah, there are, but there's a lot less addicts in places where there's actual social programs to help. That's what I'm trying to say. It's
And that's great.
thing.
And that's great. But what I was trying to say is that America is a lot different than Portugal and Sweden, and I still didn't look at the rest of the countries, but I'm pretty sure they're small countries.
And they have like 15 times the amount of substance treatment centers, and probably like a
15
20
times though. 15 times more than America, really? 15 times. They have that many.
Ireland has 40%
recovery.
more.
Every corner is a rehab, is what you're telling me, in these small countries?
Here we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is. I mean, if you want to go down to national availability treatment facilities, yes, they have
Hey, this
more
is a link
percentage.
for usage of drugs.
Scroll down, scroll down. It's towards the bottom there. And they have less people in treatment with higher treatment availability for centers.
This graph right here says that America actually has more substance abuse facilities, treatment facilities. This map says that America has more. What are you talking about?
The orange, they have 20 to 40, and Ireland and guess what? Slovakia, Sweden are red. They have more treatment centers available.
Yeah,
Ireland
Ireland's
has
a lot
a 40%.
different than America. Ireland and
40%
Britain are a lot different than America.
Yes, but
I
these
think
places
Ireland is actually the
have
size of California.
proven. But guess what? The treatment centers, the actual programs, those are proven programs. I don't care about the. We can take everything else away, but the treatment center, the treatment that they're getting should be available here. And the fact that we don't have that, the fact that the centers,
Okay. All right.
unless people
If you
per
think that
capita
if you think that
in
there's
the
a
treatment,
magic, if you think that there is a genuine magic European
I
doctor
don't know,
that's going to
man.
come over and show these,
I guess
Hold
the
on.
numbers just lie.
if you think that there is a magic European doctor that is going to fly over here and teach us some new techniques on how to stop people from doing heroin, more power to you, buddy. But I hate to break it to you that even if that happened, these people who are addicted, they have to be willing to go.
Yeah. But newer people would get better educated. Getting addicted, not getting. And guess what? Those newer people that do get addicted, chances
For a lot of that, I didn't hear anything.
the newer people that would get addicted would have a better chance because they would be better educated, have better treatment facilities
Damn right, they would have a better chance.
than they do now.
What I don't understand is why you think making it legal is going to help.
Because then people wouldn't be afraid.
I agree with you, but what I'm trying to say is even if people are afraid, they should still, they're not going to get arrested for helping your friend who's ODing. That's not how that works. If people are idiots and they don't do the right thing, just like when they did the drug, then I think that they should be held accountable. And I think that everybody is responsible for their own well-being. I don't think that there's a magic doctor. If that's how it worked, then people wouldn't be addicts, dude. Simple as that.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that. Miles, what do you like cut off, dude? Oh.
I mean, I don't think there's anything I can say more that'll be helpful, so yeah, pretty much.